Um, Hello again. Well, hello, positive thinkers. Um, so, I guess I don't know, I feel it in myself. I feel energy within myself. So, I guess it kind of been on a roll this Sunday. Remember, I said easy like Sunday morning. So, I kind of been on a roll this Sunday. So, I'll call it part two of being easy. Being easy like Sunday morning. Um, yeah, one side, double positives. As I said, I like to get up in the mornings and feel good, and as the song goes, be easy. Um, the double positives, the things that match up. Um, Matching up is not hard. It's not supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be easy. Just like um, some more stuff I'm going to put in the footage room, and I'll compare what I'm talking about to being easy. Um, but yeah, misery doesn't like easy. Insanity doesn't like easy. It wants to make things complicated and difficult. Sort of like weeds, in the garden. When you're trying to plant some flowers and you're trying to keep your the flower bed, well, you have to pick the weeds out. Insanity. So oh, and what I also wanted to put out there, I've been saying, please like and subscribe. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. Um, if you agree if you agree, like and subscribe. Um, and if you disagree, there's no love lost. But please take some tips with you. You know, um, just in case you might run up on a situation or something like that. So you get love from both sides. So please take some tips with you. Um, I don't, as the saying goes, I don't wish bad on anybody. So please take some of these tips with you. Hopefully they may save a life, save your life, save somebody's life, or save some energy. And that's one thing I do talk about out there with my positive thinkers too. Which side is going to bring me energy? Which side is going to save me energy? And that's another key thing that I look for: saving energy. The matchup, knowing that things match up and things are equaling out. You know, um, Saves energy. Insanity. Um, questioning sense, going against the matchup, questioning the matchup, questioning it, and and trying to and trying to go with these questions, because it's going to take time and energy. As I said, time can either work for me or it can work against me. So when you're doing things in life, or when you're putting some time and energy into something, you want to make sure that you get something out of it. If I'm going to put time and energy into this, then what am I going to receive? What am I going to receive back? The circle, 360. So as I tell myself, and I tell go out there, and when I speak, I said, which side is going to save me energy? Having a peace of mind is going to save me energy. Double positives. Having patience for my results. When I was dealing with insanity, I spent a lot of energy because, as I said, the juggle. I had to think. I had to do this. I had to make sure things fit right in order to sell. In order to sell it. I had to do a lot of that, and I personally believe, being on the negative thinking, negative attitude, looking for positive results, I personally believe And I'm experiencing some of this now. As I tell my positive thinkers, I am getting the same high. The same high, but even better. I'm getting the same high than I did when I was on my negative thinking, negative attitudes. I'm getting the same exact high. And it feels better. And I say this too. It feels better. Why? Because I'm not taking that risk. I'm getting that same high and I can walk away with it. See, that's the difference. That's the difference within the wishbone. That's why I put the wishbone into the footage room. Yeah, I get the same high. Going after passion, going after what you want and like to do. And I don't know. I just, you know, and I put it out there. And the reason why I put it out there, not because, as I said in the beginning video, once I start to catch up on things, then I'll catch you up on things. Well, I put it out there because the events. One thing, when I was talking about or using the wishbone and branding it against certain celebrities or certain things that was in the news, like dealing with what's going on in the news now with the Justice Department and Trump campaign. I was branding the wishbone not just to see, I wanted to see if it worked. Basically, I wanted to see if these double positives and these double negatives, I wanted to see if it worked. And when I did it, I was shocked that it worked myself. I wanted to see if it worked. Not just necessarily showing other people does it work and, you know, what I do or how I did it, but I wanted to see if it worked. And so far, I'm getting, you know, people are agreeing. That's why I said, if you like and agree with this video, please, if you like it and you agree with it, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Yeah, but I'm going back to the footage room again. I'll bring out just a couple of more things out of the footage room. And as I said, when I did this footage room, this was going on during the Obama leave exit and Trump enter. So I had to use the wishbone and use it against something, or use it against something to show people how this stuff is playing out and how it's going to play out. As I said, and I'll put this up here. As I said, how can you figure confusion out? See, that's the sort of the trick on the insanity side. And once I get this in my mind that confusion is not meant to be figured out, I see that there's only one way. This is me personally. Confusion is not meant to be figured out. Some things you just have to let go. Some fish you just have to let go. So I put the puzzle into the footage room. Now, as I said, when I wake up in the mornings, I like to wake up and make sense. You know, I like to wake up and make sense. You know, take one step. You know, I like to walk. You know, I like to walk forward. I like to wake up and match my clothes up, my attitude, my thinking. How do I feel this morning? Am I grateful? whatever, and then things just go down the line. How do I feel? How do I want others to feel? And as I said, some may be having a bad day. Okay, so, I understand that. I can go off and do other things. So, I just go by the energy of people. And so I put the puzzle into the footage room, waking up to make sense. Now, the reason why I put the puzzle into the footage room is because the matchup, positive thinking, positive attitude, it fits like a puzzle. Having patience for my results, that's another piece to the puzzle. But while I have patience for my results, I can do other things. Other things that may surround my passion, or other things that's going to, other steps. What I believe, other things that surrounds my passion. Maybe whatever your passion is, but I can do other things. Other positive things. So I put the puzzle into the footage room is because now that's operating off the way of sense, the double positives, but off the way of double negatives, putting the puzzle into the footage room. Misery, insanity will try to take the piece of the puzzle and put it in the wrong spot, and then try to convince you that it's okay. Now, the reason why I say investing my time and energy, because misery also putting the piece of the puzzle into the wrong spot and then try to convince you. Misery also wants some time and energy from you. See, it's getting three things. It's getting you to agree to something that's wrong, and then also it wants you to invest time and energy. See, when you're dealing with a puzzle, certain pieces go in a certain place. That's why the puzzle is shaped like that. But the way of insanity will try to tell you different. Now, how did I come across that? The puzzle. Oh, that came from because I have everything. I have everything written down, but I guess that came from the way when the scandal first broke out. And I said, well, wait a minute. Well, that doesn't match. I was doing the wishbone, and I put the puzzle into the footage room, and I said, wait a minute. With that, it was something about the campaign or something. The puzzle. I put the puzzle into the footage room because something on the news that came out, and I said that didn't match up, and it's not going to work. But it came from Insanity's way, and so when I go out there and that did positive, I have everything, written down. But I wanted to put the footage room on YouTube to help people out with what's going on in their life. But I had used the puzzle to compare that with something that was going on in the campaign. Now, I put what else I put in there? Questions that I ask myself. And as again, I don't want to be riding off of anybody's back. So I don't know how really this is going to play out on YouTube, but hopefully it plays out well. So questions that I ask myself. I like to ask myself questions. Questions that I ask myself. Well, why would somebody just want to go about that way? I like to ask questions that I ask myself. I like to think about things before I do it. You see? You think about things before I do it versus doing things on purpose without seriously thinking it through. So we got these options. Wishbone. See, I look for the wishbone in certain things. When people talk, just what I just said now, thinking about things before I do it versus doing things on purpose without seriously thinking it through. And then when I get in trouble, I need help.
So I want to do some positive thinking when I get in trouble. See, I had plenty of experiences with that. But so what was I talking about? I was talking about questions that I ask myself. Yeah, I like to ask myself questions before I do it. Or before I invest my time and energy. I put questions that I ask myself into the footage room, so I don't know. It just helps me. It just helps me stay away from it. Just questions that I ask myself. It helps me to stay away, but also at the same time, it's like it protection, safety net. Questions that I ask myself. Ask yourself questions before you invest time and energy into something. Yeah. Ask yourself questions. Time and energy, that's a lot to ask for. We want some time and energy. How much time and how much energy? See, that's why I say questions that I ask myself. Well, what am I going to be receiving anything? Or, sometimes it doesn't always have to be about that. It could be about family members, and you might, sometimes it's done from the heart too. So I can understand that. So questions that I ask myself, I put that in the footage room for, to help misery and for us positive thinkers. Okay, hatchlings. Oh, see, that's where all this stuff is coming from. Now it's coming back. Humpty Dumpty. And the dumplinets, hatchlings. Oh, that's where all this stuff is coming back. Humpty Dumpty. Now, Humpty Dumpty. I got to talk about Humpty Dumpty. See, this goes back to the beginning. I just thought about Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty. See, nonsense comes around with some Humpty Dumpty. Oh, buddy. And nonsense has a lot of Humpty Dumpty. And see, what Humpty Dumpty does, he's got rule. And see, what the dumplinets do is they go around and they spread word. See, they deliver the word throughout all the king's lands about Mr. Humpty Dumpty. But Humpty Dumpty is operating from the way of nonsense. What did it say? Humpty Dumpty went up the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Humpty Dumpty comes around. Want you to invest some time and energy into insanity. And as I said, the dumplinets, they go around, they spread word about Humpty Dumpty. How Humpty Dumpty's way is right. Now I got Humpty Dumpty and the dumplinets. I got that from I gotta go back to the administration. That was Mr. Humpty Dumpty. So that's Humpty Dumpty. So I put hatchlings into the footage room. Hatchlings during cooler temperatures, like those alligators I was talking about. Hatchlings, they hatch they need cooler temperatures. So, whatever. I'm still learning things, but whatever temperature these hatchlings they hatch in. For what I'm understanding, I think it's cooler temperatures that they hatch in. I don't know. I'm still doing some investigation about these hatchlings, but I put hatchlings into the footage room. So the hatchlings are sort of like the dumplinets. I got to go around spread word. They're sort of like the dumplinets. The hatchlings. I put that into the footage room. So, they are everything that looks small and cute. It isn't. Test the waters before you go down and mess with those eggs down there. Test the waters first. Might bite your little finger off. So I'll put that into the footage room. Spotlight. I'll put the spotlight into the footage room. Now, a spotlight I put into the footage room for two reasons. One, I put the spotlight into the footage room because going up into the bank. I talked about the bank. The bank that comes from, I was talking about the administration, how the Trump administration just walks right up into the bank with the police sitting across the street. But they walked up into the bank, but they haven't came out the bank yet. Okay. So how does it go? I put the spotlight into the footage room because it's like you have people that walked into a burning house, or people that walk into a bank, or walked into the bank but can't get out. But then you still have other people that are following right behind those people walking into the bank. So the spotlight went from this person onto that person, onto the next person who's walking up into the bank. So far, no one's came out. Now, the second reason why I put the spotlight into the footage room is because when you're talking about, let's see, I'm talking about the Trump administration. The Trump administration, the spotlight is on, the spotlight was on so many people. I have it written down. The spotlight was on Manafort, Rick Gates, Mike Flynn. I hate to mention all these names on the Papadopoulos. I can mention this right off the top of my head. Papadopoulos. It went from them to WikiLeaks with Assad. The spotlight was on him to now who's Roger Stone, Randy Credico. See, I have it. See? So that's why I put the spotlight into the footage room, because it was going from person to person, and now you have, when you're going through the negative thinking, negative way, all my business is out in the news. So I put the spotlight into the footage room. And it just reminds, and I put a picture in my positive thinker's head. Imagine the Three Stooges when they were on the wall and they had their back towards the wall, and all of a sudden the spotlight hit them. Now there you go, all your business is exposed. Your family is in the news. You put yourself into the spotlight, the news. So that's why I put the spotlight into the footage room, and I said that. And I go out there and I say, now take this spotlight and turn it on this person right here. So basically, and this is all coming from me using the wishbone, and I had to compare it to something, or use it against something. This is all coming from doing things on purpose without seriously thinking it through. The beginning, see. The beginning. All of this is stemming from doing things on purpose without seriously thinking it through. So now I'm going over my footage room with you. I put, what do you mean? 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 See, these are some things that us positive thinkers would ask. What do you mean? I don't understand. Please explain yourself. What do you mean? What do you mean? Misery don't want to explain. What do you mean? I need answers, because now the reason I have reasons. I told my positive thinkers, I say, hold on to reason. I have reasons for what do you mean? What do you mean? Misery says, what reasons do you have? And then when you go to list the reasons that you have, Misery don't want to hear the reasons, but you just ask for the reasons, Misery. So now I'm giving you the reasons. You don't want to hear the reasons. The reason why I ask, what do you mean, is because I got to invest my time and energy. So now I'm asking you, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I like to ask, what do you mean? Explain it to me. It doesn't make sense. It's not balancing out. Before I just step in and give some of my time and energy. It's not equaling out. What do you mean? So, what do you mean? So I put that into the footage room. Put what do you mean into the footage room so that I may have understanding. Okay, so if you're not giving me understanding, then there's no sense for me giving you my time and energy. See, I'm only going to give I'm only going to give things that match up my time and energy now. You see? I did all that. I did all that. You know. Let's see. Talked about the puzzle. Talked about what do you mean. Questions I asked myself. Hatchlings. Okay. Practice. Practice. See? Practice. Now, I talked about practice. I remember practice. Sanity. Don't want to practice. Don't want to practice. This is why I put this is another reason why I put the boxer into the footage room. But insanity, I say now smart thinking, positive thinking, smart thinking. Now, if I have to fight the heavyweight champion of the world, my thinking and my saying is that I'm going to need a good trainer. I'm going to have to match things up. I'm going to have to watch some footage of this boxer. I'm going to have to, find out what he's about, his family, his family members, how, whatever, right? I'm going to find out all I can on this boxer. But, I'm going to try to match things up because you got the heavyweight champion. You got a fight coming up, right? Let's see, practice. We're talking about practice. So you're going to train. You're going to do things. You're going to practice. You're going to do some jump rope. You're going to do something. As a heavyweight champ, you got a fight coming up. But insanity doesn't think that way. See? Negative thinking, negative attitude doesn't think that way. Now, negative thinking, negative attitude thinks that, I can go out for a couple of drinks. Forget about the champ. Don't worry about champ. I don't need practice. And then the coach goes in that, you don't need practice. What do you mean you don't need practice? I don't need practice for the champ. I heard about the champ. Don't need practice. A champ better watch out for me. I'm coming with no practice. Don't need practice for the champ. Don't need practice for the champ. Well, what about all those stories? Don't worry about those stories. Don't worry about all that evidence. Don't worry about none of that stuff. It's me. I don't need practice for the champ. What are you going to... I got it here. So, misery likes to... And see... And then when the coach is... You stand back and hear this nonsense. You see? Misery exposes itself. You stand back and hear this nonsense, and then... But it wants time and energy for this stuff. So I put practice. Misery. I was talking about practice. Misery doesn't understand practice. Now, practice to me is good. Positive thinking, positive attitude side. Practice to me is good. I mean, that's just, you're going back to the beginning. You're just taking your experiences and you're going back to the beginning, and you're just getting better. You see? The wheel is moving forward. You can understand some things. Well, you did it wrong. Just like you take just those tennis players, those real good tennis players, they don't get everything right. So they got to go back to the beginning where they got to serve the ball and all this other stuff. So practice to me, as long as it's leading towards something positive, is good. Practice is great. I believe challenging, I say to my positive thinkers, challenging ourselves. Whether it could be physically, whether it could be mentally, keep challenging yourself. Practice. That's one way I think, that far as us, we get better. Even our thinking. New things have opened. So that means, we gotta go back. We gotta change our thinking once again. We changed our thinking. We had to change our thinking. Seems like we had to change our thinking every time. Well, almost every time that a new president got in office. But now we really got to change our thinking. See, it was not that way anymore. Now it's moved this way. So now it's time for this type of thinking. You see? Times have changed. And I tell my positive thinkers, if times is changing, then our thinking has to change with the times. It's got to match up with the times. Let's see. So I put practice into the footage room. Practice is great, and especially those that's going after their practice. You're gonna have to have practice. Don't need practice. Practice. That's nonsense. The way of nonsense. Don't need practice. I'm gonna chill out over here, and I'm gonna go do this. And I'm just speaking from my way, but I don't need practice. I'm trying to do everything and avoid practice. Trying to do everything but knowing what I need to do, what I need to do. And that just gets caught up with using different habits, those habits. We got to practice with habits. Getting rid of old habits and starting new habits takes practice. So, I know I put practice into the footage room. I really like practice. Practice is good. You practice, that keeps you away from things. Candle, positive fire. Candle, positive fire. Misery, insanity tries to blow out your fire. I put candles into the footage room. Candles into the footage room. Misery trying to come by and steal some thunder. Want to blow out your want to try to blow out your flame. Want to blow out your flame. That's another reason why I took the spotlight and put it into the footage room. Wants to take your mind and put it on other things instead of what's really going on. Want to try to blow out your flame. All coming from needing attention. That type of thing. All coming from something. All coming from something. I put candles into the footage room. Yeah. I put candles into the footage room. Yeah, misery tries to blow out your flame. Try to steal some thunder. Anything to take you off that path. The road to success is dotted with. I have to repeat. I have to do this. My friend gave me some quotes, but I remember a quote saying, "The road to success is dotted with many tempting parking places." I should have brought in some quotes, but I'll bring in some next time. Okay. So, yeah, watch it. Don't let misery blow out your fire. That's your fire. That's your fire. Don't let misery come around and try to blow out your fire and try to control your fire. I'm going to take your fire and I'm going to mold it and I'm going to do... No. That's basically misery wanting to drive your car. See? As I say to the people with passion, go after your passion. First, you got to, and I talk to my positive thinkers, answering your phone call. Answer your phone call. Don't let somebody else answer your phone call for you. You answer your own phone call. That's your phone call. That's your life. Don't let misery try to ride off your passion. Because misery doesn't have passion, or it's scared to answer its phone call. Or it may be in the wrong passion. But it wants to try to ride off your passion. No. Don't let misery blow out your flame. That's your flame. That's your personal stuff. Can't tell you what I don't know. I'm gonna end with this. Well, maybe I've got a little bit more time. Can't tell you what I don't know. But I can tell you what I do know. And I know right now, at this present moment, I'm talking to you. I got a lot of love for you too. I'm starting to get used to the time thing, because there's a difference in being 30 versus 6, where I gotta, where people are just walking by and stuff like so. So it's very different in having time for you now, being for me. So I have a lot, I have this amount of time to where I can actually see it in front of my face. But yeah, talking about can't tell you what I don't know, but I can tell you what I do know. I do know right now things are matching up. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. And I like to feel good. I can't tell you what I don't know. But I can tell you what I do know. I do feel good. Misery, insanity. If you'll notice, as you're going out through your day, you notice when you feel good, you might have somebody to try to, or if you're feeling good, you might have somebody to try to take you off, knock you off that feel good course. To try to, if they could just knock you off maybe just an inch, then maybe the rest of your day will not go right. Like the circles, the rings around Saturn. If I could just knock this off just a bit, then maybe it won't complete. So can't tell you what I don't know, but I can tell you what I do know. As far as passion and people having different talents. See, people have different talents. So I can't explain to you how one or this person is more of a I wouldn't want to say more of a thinker than this person. I can't tell you. I can't tell you why this person is more athletic than this person. People are given different talents and different passion. That's why I say one must answer its own phone call. It's just picking up the phone, and you might not get a hello that first time. It might not be that second, third, fourth, sixth time, but keep picking that phone up. That's your phone call that's ringing. Can't tell you what I don't know, but I can tell you what I do know. What I do know right now is I feel great. 100% great. Being in New York and this ride is fun. I'm enjoying this. That's why I say it's a win-win. With positive thinking, my attitude must follow. Yeah, I'll put I'm gonna talk about this one. I think I got a little bit of time. And glow. I put glow into the footage room. Misery likes glow. Wants to come by and steal some of your joy, your glow. I put this into the footage room. I said, Misery, it doesn't deserve glow. I said, if I give you glow, then what are you going to do with glow? I'm going to take the glow and throw it in the trash can. Misery, I say to my positive thinkers, misery does not deserve glow. I just want us to take your glow and just spin it away, throw it away. Misery doesn't deserve glow. So I put glow into the footage room. And, I want to go into this. I also put glow into the footage room. And I got to go back to the administration again, because this is where it came from. Glow, 2 reasons. Misery can't have any, and black skin. Something's wrong with black skin. I got to go back to the administration on that one. I'm gonna keep it real with YouTube, because I'm gonna introduce YouTube out to my positive thinkers on 31st and 6th. So black skin, I had to go to black skin. I put glow into the footage room because misery, insanity finds something wrong with black skin. See, me, I'm not a racist. I like, whites. My life, I had my best friend. My best friend was a white guy. Both of my best friends was a white girl and white guy, because I had to go with my mom to my friend's house, and they became my friends. I'm gonna try to make a long story short. So, and then my best friend introduced me to the black kids in the neighborhood. So this is the way I came up. Boom, 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 boom. And that was until I had to move on to other things in life. But so I don't get into the race and color. That's why I say I go by the energy. So yeah, black skin. So I put Misery has something wrong with black skin. So I put that along with the cocoa butter stick. Black skin. I like my skin. I tell my positive, I like my skin. I go out there, and all we just need is a little bit of cocoa butter. We're good. Black skin. So I put black cocoa butter stick and glow. Misery can't have glow. Misery can't have glow. So Misery is not allowed to have it. Not for me. I can't find no reason to put glow into the footage room. Yeah, but Misery has skin problems. Yeah, skin problems. And that's where the glow came from, because Misery has skin problems. Racism. And see, I don't understand racism, and I'm not trying to understand racism. See, that's the thing. I'm not trying to understand racism. I've been doing all right without understanding racism for this long, so I'm just going to keep going, and and see how far that gets me. I say if you have good energy, man, and you're cool, because I find nothing wrong with blacks or whites. Truthfully, I find nothing wrong with blacks or whites. So I put those two things in the footage room. I'm not, time out. I'm gonna do this last one. Take a time out. Just like the quarterback. When the quarterback gets in the jam, he takes a time out. I say positive thinkers. Sometimes we need a positive time out. Take a time out from things. Take a break from insanity. Take a little candy bar break. You know what they say that commercial goes. But I don't want to right off the back of too many things. But take a break. Take a positive time out. Take a break from misery. And then especially if you're being caught up or pressured into something, remember, positive time out. Let me go outside, take a little smoke real quick. Need a positive time out. Wait a minute, I'm up under a lot of pressure. Oh, wait a minute, you're trying to pressure me into doing something. Wait a minute, need a positive time out. Got to take a positive time out for a minute. PT, positive time out. You're allowed those things. Take a positive time out. I believe positive time out. I believe in positive time out. Just taking a time out from insanity, from depression. See? Positive thinking, positive attitude, having patience for my results. And while I have patience, I do other things. You're creating. I like to create. So, yeah. So those are the things I put. I got a little bit of time left. I put the investigator. Investigation. Oh, investigation. There's one thing I'm going through my insanity. That kind of stayed in my mind. It's just thinking about investigation. Investigation was just always on my mind. I don't know, for some reason, it was just always on my mind. Always on my mind. Investigation. I was doing things, I guess. I don't know. I was doing things for it to be on my mind. Nobody was really, I was doing it, I had a little bit of help, but I was doing things on my own, you know what I mean? Nobody was there to tell me you need to go out here and do this, or you need to go out. No, it was all on my own with insanity. So I had to come up with my plans and my ideas, on my own. So, it's funny though. But yeah, investigation. I remember investigation. I didn't, it wasn't too many investigations, because I sort of, as I said, I was there. I'm learning, not falling in love. No, I'm learning. So but I know about investigation. And let's see, don't come in here. You talk to an investigator, and you don't want to insult anybody. And see, the things that the investigator came by and talked to me about, they just asked me questions, and things if I had no involvement, then I didn't know anything. Boom. So there was no reason for me to, cover anything up. Plus, I did things on my own, or if I happened, you know, if something happened, well, I just, I wasn't involved. Boom. But don't tell me things that I already know. Now, see, this is the thing. Don't tell me things. They have that look on their face. When you sit down, they say, don't tell me things that I already know. And so you already know not to go there. Negative thinking, negative attitude. So, you go and tell them, if you're cooperating, or maybe one is not. It all depends on what type of situation and what type of pressure one is up under. But investigator, don't come in here and tell me things I already know. See, I don't have to worry about that with double positives. As I said, one I like to expose. The other I try to keep covered up. Me, haven't really had too many run-ins with investigators, but I know enough as far as when you're sitting down with the investigators, don't come in, don't tell me things that I already know. That's one thing. So now I need some things that I don't know, basically. And you're sitting down, so now you have to play a mind game with the investigator. Now, what do you know? And the investigator is not going to tell you what he or she knows. Well, you don't worry about what I know. You just tell me what you think that I don't know. Okay? It's the mind game. See, that's when all the juggling, all the pins start dropping. Now we got to play that mind game with this investigator. See, this is spending energy. Now I'm spending energy because now I'm trying to play psychological games with this investigator. This is for me. This is when I knew that time was let's go ahead and start dealing a new hand here. Let's start playing a new hand. That's when I guess time to come clean. Don't tell me things that you don't tell. You got this look of don't tell you things that you already know, and it's just, and you don't want to insult anybody's intelligence because you know things that you're just going to make things worse. So now I put myself in a predicament. You see, I did it to myself. Negative thinking, negative attitude, looking for positive results, and as I said, this stuff really didn't hit me. I didn't have this stuff on my mind coming up to New York, but it hit me when I started doing positive thinking. So, don't tell me things I already know. The investigator. Because now you're assaulting his intelligence. I know these things already. I know these things already. I got the look on my face. My look on my face can tell you that I know these things. I need some new stuff. And they said that you were that person for this new stuff. So, I don't have to worry about this on double positive. Talking to no investigator, telling him things that he already knows. I wish I could tell you some things that you would already know on double positive side. I'm trying to get this information out there. I wish I could. So, I just do the best that I can. So, I can't tell you what I don't know, can't tell you what I do. Can't tell you what I don't know, but I can tell you what I do know. And don't tell me things that I already know. I'm going to leave it off with that. Hopefully some of these things can help you throughout the course of your day. Tips, positive thinking tips. Planting some seeds, motivation mixed in with it. I want you to have a beautiful day, have a positive day, and find your win-win within positive thinking and positive attitude, having patience for your results. Find the win-win. And positive thinking, making sure that it's complete from beginning, middle, and the end, just like the triangle. The beginning, middle, and end. 3 parts. Okay. Positive thinkers, have a positive day out there. Double positive. Be well.